polyethylenyl are used in the preparation of a non-ionic type of a detergent. A molecule that cannot act as a target for drug function in the body is vitamins. The incorrect statement regarding enzymes inhibitors is generally a strong covalent bond is formed between an inhibitor and an enzyme. Artificial sweetness will not enhance the nutritional value of food. Soap chips, small broken pieces of soap formed from melted soap. Soap granules, dried miniature soap bubbles. Soap powder plus braziers, builders Na2CO3 Na3PO4. Scorping soap powder plus builders like Na2CO3 and Na3PO4. For the following reactions, X plus Y is equal to A plus B at 300 K, it is found equilibrium constant equal to 10 to the power of 3. Therefore, delta G and delta G degree of the reaction at 300 K respectively are 0 and minus 17.23 kilojoule. The calorified value H2G at STP is 12.78 kgl per L. Hence, approximate standard enthalpy of formation of H2OL is 286 kilojoule. The standard enthalpy and entropy changes for the reaction in equilibrium for the forward reaction are given below. CO gas plus H2O G implies CO2G plus H2G. Delta H degree 300 Kelvin is equal to minus 41.16 kilojoule mole inverse 1. Delta S is equal to delta S degree is equal to 300 K is equal to minus 0.4.24 into 10 to the power of minus 2 kilojoule mole inverse 1. Delta H degree 1200 K is equal to minus 32.93 Kelvin joule mole inverse 1. Then the incorrect statement is at 1200 Kp greater than 1. A certain engine which operates is cannot cycle absorbs 3.347 kilojoule at 400 degrees Celsius. 1.49 kJ work is done by the engine per cycle when the temperature of a sink is 100 degrees Celsius. The reaction COG plus 1 by 2 O2G gives CO2G. Delta H degree is equal to minus 67,650 cal at 25 degree. Calculate delta H degree at 100 degrees Celsius given that the required molar heat capacities are as follows. Cp CO gas is equal to 6.9397 calorie degrees Celsius. Cp CO2 gas is equal to 8.47 degrees Celsius. Cp O2 gas is equal to 7.00 degree Celsius. Answer minus 67,762.5 Delta G for the formation of HIG from the gaseous elements is minus 9.67 per Cj per mole at 500 K when the potential pressure of H1 10.0 atom and of I2 is 0.001 atom. What must be the partial pressure of hydrogen at this temperature to reduce the magnitude of delta G for the reaction of 10 to the power of 3 atom? For 1 mole of an ideal gas, which of the following reactions is correct? Dou P by dou T. Dou T by dou V. P dou V by dou P T is equal to 1. The coefficient of thermal expansion alpha is nearly constant for a liquid. Alpha is equal to 1 by V. Dou V by dou T. P at 293 Kelvin and 1 atom for water. Alpha is equal to plus 2.1 Kelvin inverse 1. The 37 minus 37.81 approximately work done when 1 mole of liquid is heated from 288 to 298 Kelvin at 1 atom. Molar volume of liquid is equal to 18 ml. When 1 mole of Zn is dissolved in excess HCl, the work done is approximately equal to minus 2.46 kJ is open beaten at 300 Kelvin and 1 atom is correct. When 1 mole of Zn is dissolved in excess HCl, work done is equal to 0 in closed local zar is correct. What and final state of a gas are represented respectively by P1, V1, T1 and P2, V2, T2. The pressure and volume of the gas during process is related by PV power n is equal to constant. Therefore, net reversible work done is P2 V2 minus P1 V1 by n minus 1. For a gas having no molar mass m, specific heat at a constant pressure per gram of gas is given by R by m bracket R minus 1. The following reaction occurs in bamboo calorimeter at 300 Kelvin. NH2CnS plus 3 by 2 O2 thrice gives N2G plus CO2G plus H2O. QV is equal to minus 750 kJ per mole. For this reaction, find the value of delta H for 3 mole of NH2CnS is minus 2 to 2224.38 kJ per mole. The enthalpy of neutralization of HCO2 inverse OQ with a strong alkali is minus 42 kJ mole, and enthalpy of neutralization of a strong acid with a strong alkali is minus 56 kJ equal. They are enthalpy of dissociation of HCO power inverse AQ is 14 kJ mole. If bond dissolution energies of N is equal to N, H minus H and N minus H are x1, x2 and x3 respectively. Hence, enthalpy of formation of NH3 gas is x by 2 plus 3 by 2 into x2 minus 3 into x3. N2 by 2G plus O2G gives NO2 gas. Delta RH degree is equal to minus 40 kJ per mole. Given Cp NO2 gas is equal to 40 J per mole per Kelvin. Cp plus O2 gas is equal to 30 Jk inverse 1 mole inverse 1. Cpm N2 gas is equal to 30 Jk mole inverse 1. What is the enthalpy of formation of NO2 gas at 1298 K minus 45 K per mole? The enthalpy of formation of H2O delta is minus 290 kJ per mole, and enthalpy of neutralization of strong acid with strong alkali is minus 56 kJ per equal. What is the enthalpy of formation of OH inverse Ag? Given delta from form H power plus Ag is equal to 0, minus 234 kJ per mole. For water gas reaction, CS plus H2O gas implies CO gas plus H2 gas. At 1000 K, the standard GBBS free energy changes of the reaction is minus 8.314 kJ per mole. Therefore, at 1000 K, the equilibrium constant of the above water gas reaction is 2.718. At 500 K, for an isobaric process, delta S system is equal to minus 10 kJ per mole. K and delta S system is equal to 12 kJ per mole K. Therefore, delta G for the entire process is minus 1000 kJ per mole. For the oxidation of glucose, delta RH degree is equal to minus 280 kJ per mole, and delta RG degree is equal to minus 3000 kJ per mole. 25% of energy of the is oxide for muscles work. Therefore, in order to climb a hill or higher 500 meters, how many grams of glucose is required for a man of mass 100 kg? G is equal to 100 m per s square is 120 gm. For the reaction in the plant cell, S 6 CO2 G plus 12 H2O lemida gives 6 H1 H12O6 S plus 6O2 G plus 6 H2O lambda. G degree or G degree is equal to minus 30 kJ per mole. Glucose is stored in the plant cell as starch C6H1005 H70 produce 162 grams of starch. How many moles of ATP or minimum required is 100 mole. NH4 COO NH2 S implies 2 NH3 gas plus CO2 gas H. Equilibrium pressure is 3 atom for the above reaction. Kp will be 4. Pre-exponential factor for free radical combination of chlorine is 2 into 10 to the power of 13 second inverse 1. The tradition in HR power minus 1 of this reaction at STPP is 7.2 into 10 to the power of 16 HR power minus 1. The work done during expansion of a gas is independent of pressure if the expansion takes place in none of the above case. The rise the temperature of 2 moles diatomic gas by 1 degree Celsius at constant pressure, the required almost of heat is 120 cell can be calcium. The amount of heat which goes as the gas internal energy is almost 85.2 cal. The delta N for CO2 gas, COG and H2O gas are minus 393.5, minus 110.5 and minus 241.8 mole inverse 1 respectively. The standard enthalpy change in Kj for the reaction CO2 gas plus H2 gas gives CO gas plus H2O gas is 41.1. 1 mole of an ideal monoatomic gas at 27 degrees Celsius is subjected to the reversible isotropic compression unit. Final temperature reached to 327 degrees Celsius if the initial pressure was 1 atom. Then find the value in P2 is 0.75 atom. Boiling point, molarity and freezing point are intensive property. The standard heat of formation value of a SF6 gas, Sg and Fg are minus 1100, 275 and 80 kJ mole inverse minus 1 respectively. Then the average 8 minus F and the energy is SPG is 309 kJ mole inverse 1 at the particular temperature. HI power Ag plus OH inverse Ag gives H2O 1, delta H is equal to 57.51 kJ. The approximation heat evolved when 400 ml of 0.2 m H2SO4 is mixed with 600 ml of 0.1 m KOH. Solution will be 3.426 kJ. The heat of a combustion of a graphite is CO2 gas is minus 393.5 kJ per mole. The heat released in the formation of 35.2 gas of CO2 gas from graphite and oxygen gas will 315 kJ approximately. How many grams of botanin must burnt to heat 10 grams water from 30 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius? Heat of combustion of butane is minus 700 Kelvin 1 mole, and the specific heat of water is 1 calorie. Gm inverse 1 K inverse 1 is 58 grams. The enthalpy of atomization of carbon and hydrogen are Q1, Q2 respectively. If Q3 is the Be of C minus H bond, then delta H of the following reaction is CS plus 2H2 gas gives CH4 gas. Q1 plus 4Q2 minus 4Q3. An ideal gas is allowed to expand both reversibly and irreversibly in an isolated system if T1 is the initial temperature and TR is the final temperature of the following statement is correct. T1 irrelevant greater than T or EV. Delta H minus delta U for the formation of carbon monoxide CO from its element at 298 Kelvin is R is equal to 8.314 Kelvin inverse 1 joule kilo Kelvin inverse 1 mole minus 1 mole inverse 1 is minus 1238.78 mole inverse 1. If delta H is the enthalpy change and delta E the change in internal energy accompanying a gaseous reaction, then delta H is less than delta E if the number of moles of gaseous produced is less than the number of moles of gaseous reactant. The mole heat capacity for a gas at a constant T and P is infinity. Given C plus O2 gives CO2, delta H degree is equal to minus x kJ. 2CO2 plus O2 gives 2CO2 delta H degree is equal to minus Y kJ. The enthalpy of formation of CO2 with will be Y minus 2x by 2. Smelting of iron ore takes place through this reaction. 2Fe2O3 S plus 3S gives 4FeS plus 3CO2 G delta HR degree of Fe2O3 and CO2 are minus 8242 kilojoule mole inverse 1 and minus 393.7 kJ mole inverse 1 respectively. The reaction is endothermic. Mole pi of an ideal gas expanded respectively from a volume of 8 dm cube to 80 dm cube at a temperature of 27 degree Celsius. Calculate the change in enthalpy. Answer 95.73 joule kilo inverse 1. The standard heat of combustion of a hydrocarbon compound is an intensive property, in which case of mixing of strong acid and base each of 1 N concentration temperature increases is the highest 25 ml and acid and 25 ml alkane.